Hey everyone, today we are making chicken stock. Hey everyone, welcome to Pop Keto, and as I said, today we are making chicken stock. Now, chicken stock is one of those things where when you go to buy it in the shops, often there is sugar in there, so we are showing you how to make it from scratch. Now, if you're watching this sometime in the future, we are currently in social isolation due to the coronavirus issue, but that gives us a lot of time at home to do stuff that we don't normally get to do, and making stock is one of those things that takes a little while. So now is a great time to get to it if you've been meaning to try it. It is super easy, and the main ingredient is thyme, as in time, not as in the herb. Okay, so if you've been enjoying our videos, please remember to click subscribe. Thank you to all the people who have already done that. We really appreciate you guys. Let's get into today's recipe. All right, now earlier today, I have already put some chicken wings in the oven to roast off. So I just put them in a bowl, put some olive oil over them, tossed them around, put them on a tray, and just pop them straight into the oven like that. We'll show you them in a sec when it comes time to put them in. But other than that, the main ingredient is your vegetables, which we're gonna put into this beautiful stock pot now. Now, the flavoring staple of most dishes is your celery, onion, and carrot, and we're starting there with the stock recipe as well. So I've got 3 stalks of celery. I'm just gonna cut off the ends, like so, and just break them in half and chuck them in the pot. All right, that's the first one. Next, onions. Onions, I'm actually gonna leave the skin on. I've taken away the sort of drier, yucky outer skin. I'm just gonna cut the top off and cut that in half, and I'm just gonna throw it in like that. Two onions, done. All right, next we have some carrots. I have 3 carrots, and again, I'm just gonna, I've washed them thoroughly. I'm leaving the skin on, cutting off the tops and bottoms, and then just breaking them, chucking them in. And I have 300 grams of mushrooms, which I'm washed thoroughly, and I'm just gonna throw in whole. All right, so we're just gonna put a little bit of color on that now by turning on this stove. I've already had a little bit of olive oil in there, so that's warmed through, and we're just gonna put a little bit of color on the rest of these ingredients. Stir them around just to give a bit of coating of oil, and we'll just let that sit for a bit. Now, we don't want to burn these at all, because that will make the stock bitter in the end. Okay, that's only been a few minutes, and that's perfect. So next we are going to add our chicken. Now, as I said before, earlier today, I roasted off some chicken wings. It's 2 kilos of chicken wings that I've got here. I'm just gonna pop them straight in. Now, we're also gonna add 2 heads of garlic, which I'm just gonna chop through the center, like so. And we're just gonna throw them in as well. And 2 bay leaves, which are from our own garden. Give that a bit of a stir around. Now, on these trays is a little bit of juice from the roast chickens. I'm gonna pour this into a glass container because there is gonna be some lovely flavoring that we can add back into the stock once we've drained off the excess oil. Okay, we'll let that cool for just a bit. And now we're gonna add our water. I've never counted how much water I add. I usually just fill it quite full, but because we're doing a recipe, let me count it. Won't be a sec. All right, so that's 7 litres of water that I've put in here. Now I'm gonna bring this up to a light simmer, and I'm gonna have it sitting at that for about 5 to 6 hours until it reduces quite a bit, and it's gonna let it concentrate all those flavors into the liquid. Okay, and lastly, like I said, we're gonna reintroduce these flavors here. You can see that there is a layer of oil on the top, but then some goodness beneath that. Let's drain off that excess oil. It's like a jelly down the bottom there. If you've got a little bit of oil in there, that's not a problem. We're doing keto, we like fats, but it's really about getting all that chicken jelly back into it. So we're just gonna let that heat up. I'm actually gonna transfer it across to one of the gas burners behind me, and we're gonna keep an eye on it. So I'm gonna clean up, gonna keep an eye on it, come back to it occasionally and get on with my day. Okay, well it is now 6 hours later and we have here our we have our lovely stock that's been brewing. As you can see, all the chicken is cooked, all the onions breaking down, we've got bits of carrot in there. Now I'm going to be preparing to store this. So what I like to do is to put it into resealable bags at a cup portion, so that if we're making a recipe and we need a cup of stock, we know what we're going to get out of the freezer. Okay, and to do that, first thing we're going to do is we are going to take out all of this excess meat and carrot. Now the chicken, the meat in here, when you go to eat it, we have taken all the flavor out of it, and this is going to be quite dry. It's going to be well overcooked. So if you are considering eating it, I'll leave that up to you. It is not very tasty because all the flavor we have is now in the stock. So it'll take a few goes for me to get all of this out. So I'm just putting this into a strainer, collecting the brothy stock that falls out from under it and getting rid of the rest of it. The next thing you'll want to do is run the stock through a fine mesh sieve. Now if you're after a really clear liquid, you could even line this sieve with cheesecloth or something like that, just to take out even some of the finer stuff. Now to be honest, I wouldn't normally be spooning this through, I would pour it through. Just with filming though, it's worked out that way. Now one thing to keep in mind with your stock is about seasoning. Now depending on what you're going to use your stock for, your new recipe may call for you to add seasoning. So your options are whether you put some salt in this broth or whether you leave it salt free so that you can control it in the next recipe. I prefer to go a light salting in this. So over the course of the cook, I've added 2 pinches of salt, and we'll probably add a little bit more when we go to use it in a recipe. We made a batch of this not too long ago actually, and we used the broth to make a Vietnamese pho. So we found some low carb noodles, we added some bean sprouts, some coriander, some lime, and it was really, really good. And of course we salted it up a bit then. So I'm gonna go on to put this into resealable bags. I don't think you need to see me do that really. I'm just gonna scoop it out with a 1 cup measuring cup, pour it into bags, pop them in the freezer. Bit of a pro tip, if you freeze it flat, almost like a page, it'll be much quicker to defrost when it comes time to use it. So guys, we hope you've enjoyed that video. I hope it's been useful for you. I hope during this time of social isolation, you'll be able to give it a go, like it, subscribe it, let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you next time. See you everyone.